This is Gary Johnson then, pre-Halifax at home. Gary, obviously this weekend can be pretty special. How do you make sure that you do your bit?
Well, I've done it all season, haven't I? And so I'm pretty confident I can do it again. But I've got to be confident in the lads taking on board the nature of the game, which I'm sure they will, and they have done all season. Take on the tactics of the game, which they have done all season. So I'm pretty confident that what we've done in the build-up to the game has been exactly what we do most weeks in the build-up to the game. You know, we haven't had a jolly up just because we're close. We've really concentrated, and I think we're in this position at the minute for the simple reason that we've respected, and I've said this a few times to you, we've respected the opposition always, and we've worked as if we're playing against Barcelona. So it's improving us. It gets things into the boys, and I can see which ones take it all on board and then can produce it on the day. And in respecting the opposition, we've had more wins than anything else. So that's what we've carried on to do, because it's our party, but only if we beat Halifax, and they've not been the worst team in the league for a little while, since obviously we played them earlier in the season. And a few of us went down to watch them at Kidderminster as well, so we respected them there by travelling up there to watch them play. I think there was 3 players, 4 members of staff and 2 directors, so we wasn't leaving anything to chance.
And actually, you look at where they're at in the league and desperately trying to stay in it. So they'll be coming with absolutely everything to play for.
Yeah, well, they weren't. It's a big club, Halifax, in this league, and they don't want to drop out of this league either, and they're in sort of a little bit of danger. What I'm hoping is that might put them into a little bit of a scenario where they're a bit nervous. If they'd have won at Kiddie, they might have been less nervous, because they'd have almost done it. They've got a couple of difficult games coming up, but it's going to be about what we do on Saturday. We've got to know their strengths and weaknesses, and I think we do. And they'll try and find our weakness if they can. They've got players that can do that if you show a weakness. So what we need is the support of our supporters. I think what would it be, 6,000-7,000, so they can make it a real cup final type atmosphere. And when a team away comes up against the home group where the players are showing bundles of energy and the supporters are showing bundles of energy and enthusiasm and singing their motivational songs, then we can make it very difficult for Halifax.
How good is it to have this opportunity to, you could be mathematically certain, you could be virtually certain anyway, but to do it in front of your home fans?
Yeah, that's always, if you have a choice, you'd rather do it in front of your home fans. I'm promoting it, that I'll certainly be, if we win the game, be treating it like we've won the league, and because it'd be nice. It's nice to have done that at home, even though the opposition is still not out of it. If they score 24 plus goals over 2 games, which I don't think has ever happened in the history of football, let alone anything else. So I, for one, will celebrate with the supporters if we win the game.
Unusual situation this week. You're without 2 players through suspension. How do you sort of plan for Harry Pell's absence?
Well, you look over the season, how many plans you've had to make for people that have been not available. You go right back to Downsy and Dylan, and as you say, 2 suspensions. You've had Mari Morgan-Smith out for a long time. We've had some horrendous injuries that have not been due to training, they've been due to big injuries in games, contact injuries, if you like. And our squad has managed to get through it. We've managed to bring in loans that have been good. It's credit to our scouting system, or one of them, and that's gone very well, because we have covered the people that are out, and we believe that we've still got the quality to cover those two very experienced players. I mean, you look at the spine of the team of Dylan, Downs, Pelly and Wrighty, none of them are playing. You know, our injured team would be very good if they were fit.
It reminds me of a text I got last weekend when I was on air from a fan saying, actually, player of the season this year, he can't pick one. He says it's the team. How much does that just sort of sum it up?
Yeah, I think that's nice. I think that's true. I think there's been lads that have been ever present, you know, Pars and Danny right up till now. You know, so they're two that sort of spring to mind straight away. Holman had half a season, but his goals have really kept the momentum for us. And you can go through all of them, and even the ones that have probably not had 40 odd games but have had 20 odd games. These are lads that have not been at this level before, certainly not in this type of competition before. People like Munsey and George and people like that, there's 5 or 6 of them. So they all deserve recognition, that's for sure. And I try and give them that nearly every day when I'm not trying to motivate them, and sometimes you have to motivate them by giving them recognition. And no, I think whoever wins it, they're such a great group, they'll all be pleased for whoever wins it, and but they'll all know that they were all close, so that's good as well.
Word on Jim Harvey, presumably someone you crossed swords with when you were at Yeovil and he was at Morecambe.
Yeah, we did, quite a few times. Good lad, Jim, and he did a fantastic job to get Halifax out of the trouble that they were in. He changed their game, he changed their thoughts, he changed their luck, and now they've just gone back into a little patch where they now need to concentrate and make sure they get at least one more win from a pretty difficult run-in.
Injuries, any additional worries this week?
No, we're okay this week. It's good because we have had a couple of, not kick, battle and bite as such, but all the lads want to play in this game. Of course they do. And so that has led to big competition in our five-a-sides, in our sprints, in our work that we're doing. Because, you know, the manager's there and they know that he's looking and they know that he's setting up practices to see who's trying hardest, who's, you know, and that's how it is. And you sort of, I've got my hands in my pockets and my fingers crossed in the hope that nobody kicks anybody out of the park, sort of thing. And but they all respect each other enough not to do that. And so we have to give fouls pretty frequently, as if you're refereeing these training games, to make sure it doesn't get sort of out of hand. But you know that if somebody punches somebody, you'd be kissing him 5 minutes later.
And you don't have to send him off in between.
No, no, exactly, no. We made a big thing as well, even in games of red and yellow cards. You know, I always on my sheet that I put up in the dressing room, I asked for no yellow or red cards. And I'll be honest with you, I think Pelly was unlucky. I've looked at the DVD. There was a lot of shenanigans going on against, I think Asa got trodden on and then something else happened. And Pelly wouldn't normally not get involved because he's learned, and he was basically like that most of the time. And he was getting pushed and shoved, and so I didn't see anything to reprimand him with his red card. He's just unlucky he'll miss this big game, which would be a shame for him, because he was being pushed and shoved about, but didn't, in my opinion, retaliate. So, you know, he'd be disappointed, and I'm disappointed for him, really.
Thanks, good luck.
No problem.
How much would you prefer it to be all over, mathematically done, dusted this weekend, rather than have to both win, and some people may be having those nagging doubts about goal difference?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the ideal scenario. I don't think that'll happen. I think, you know, I think Forest Green at the moment ahead of Woking, and I think anyway a team that's in second spot, 6 points behind with 3 games to play, are also going to have a big eye on the playoffs. So they're going to need to go into any team that gets into the playoffs needs to go in there with momentum. and so I think I think they'll be trying hard, and I'm not sure how much Woking have got to play for. So, no, we got to do our job, and yeah, it'd be great if we've heard they've drawn again, and if we get a result. But we still got to get that result, because the scenario is turn that round and they get a result and Halifax beat us. Then all of a sudden people start then getting a bit jittery and thinking, oh Christ, 2 games to go. Do you know what I mean? So that's why we've got to be really professional, do it properly. We haven't done it yet, but Guiseley beating Wrexham on their home patch showed how important that game was, and I did make that a massive important game, Guiseley, because I thought they also had players that were pretty dangerous, and we snuffed that out there, and then thank God we got the goals late on, but they then went on and beat Wrexham, so that was a key game to give us this opportunity against Halifax, and I think on the day we should be good enough to win it on the day. So whatever they do at the other side, I know we're talking about goals and all that sort of thing, but 20, 24, 25 goals, whatever it will be, we'll have to. Perhaps if we can get a few, it'll be a few more that they'll have to get in 2 games.
How much of a Philip is 100 points? Because you can still do it with 3 wins. Break through that 100 points.
Yeah, that'd be good. Only because that you definitely win the league then. And of course that's what you're going to be aiming for. But your first prize is to get your promotion. And if we get promotion on 99, 98, 97, whatever it is, points, then I'll still be ecstatic. I won't be sad about not reaching 100 points. No, it's been. We're well ahead of the 2 points a game, and it's a good job we were, because Forest Green are, I think, at the moment exactly 2 points a game.
Cheltenham, you are Cheltenham.
Oh, we are we? Yeah. Oh, at the moment, that's right.
Moment,
yeah, that's right. Sorry.
The
lads will smile at that, because I'm always saying they never look at the league tables, and we have to remind them. But these know now; they know all the stats, and it's all on our quizzes on the bus. How many goals for we got? How many goals against? So keeps them interested in the league table, because they got to know and game manage in a game. They got to know when I say they're losing up the road. But not so much now, but a couple of weeks ago we needed to be aware of what was happening.
How much of an advantage will it be to win the league 2 weeks early and then start planning for next year? Because you've I know you've not had the talks with players and so on. Are you expecting your knocks on your door on Monday morning if you sort it out?
As I said, I'll be. They won't be knocking on my door. I'll be dragging them in to my office. Because every club that I've been lucky enough to have a promotion with, we've been able to take the majority of that group and take them on to the next level, and the momentum of that success normally does well at the next level as well. And so it's just a matter of talking to them, letting them all know, which I have done over the last few weeks, not negotiated as such, but said, when they've been in this room all sitting in front of me, that this is the group I would love to take into the Football League. Because, I know that this type of group will do well at the next level as well. Now, I don't want people suddenly, before we've gone up, start talking about we're going to win the 2nd division. But these have had that motivation of knowing they're fighting for a place in the Football League, personally as well as a club.
So you'd look to get that done quite quickly as soon as it's secured?
You would, because I want to go on my holidays, because as you can see, I look a bit older than I really am.